Have you ever found yourself saying that there's just not enough time in the day to get done what needs to get done? Or have you said that I need to be better at time management, or I lack productivity or discipline to do the things that I need to do? If that's you and you're looking for this thing called work-life balance, I'm here to tell you that it doesn't exist. What I want to do in this episode is share with you a new perspective on how to manage your time. Let's discuss. Welcome to the show. Anthony Wade here. And today what I want to do is uncover or break this myth of work-life balance. You know, maybe you've been there where you've said there's just not enough time in the day to get done what needs to get done. Or if only I had more time. You know, work-life balance is this thing where one of my mentors said, you know, when you're balancing a scale, think about, when you zero a scale, what is the number that's on that scale? It's zero, meaning that you're not doing nothing. You're not moving forward. You're standing still. And in life, if you're going to be doing have more influence, impact, or income, chances are you're not standing still. And if you're watching this, if you're part of this tribe, then chances are you're not looking to stand still, but you're looking to move forward. And in order to do that, I want you to start looking at this a little bit differently, this work-life balance. You see, when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at begin to change. And what I found is that it's not work-life balance. It's not managing time. You see, to manage, it means that we can control. And I don't know about you, but every clock that I have has only 24 hours in it. There's no more, there's no less. I can't pay any kind of money to buy back any more time, and neither can you. And so it's not time management, it's priority management. Most importantly, it's managing you. But the problem today, and what I want to talk about, are some of the reasons why we find ourselves with not enough time in the day. The biggest, most important point is that most people can't say no. What I want you to think about is that we grow with our no's. We grow with knowing our vision and our values, and then making decisions every single day on what we say yes to based on those vision and values. The second no that we grow with is saying no, N-O. One of my good friends said that, no is a complete sentence. But when we don't know what we want, we don't know who we are, we don't know what we value or our vision, everything looks like a yes. And you don't grow with saying yes. Unfortunately, most people today think that by saying yes, they're going to get the validation, they're going to get the promotion, they're going to get that next door to open up. And I'll tell you that that's completely wrong. You grow with your no's. And your ability to say no is very powerful, because what it shows people and it shows others is that you respect your time. And if you want people to respect your time, you must first respect your time. And you do that by what you choose to say no to. Remember this, in business we call this the opportunity cost. And what I found is that every opportunity requires us to pay something, either time, energy, or money. My question for you is, you have to understand and know, am I willing to pay the price? Because today opportunities come all over the place from everywhere. And usually distractions, what I found today, are disguised as opportunities. Distractions don't come as like a hole in the ground or a flat tire or, some shiny object. What they come as is opportunities. And when we say yes to everything, what we often do is say no to the most important things, like our health, our family, our friends, the meaningful relationships and meaningful movements that help us have this sense of fulfillment. But when we look for external solutions for an internal problem, what we find is we're often left empty. And so what do you need to stop doing, and what do you need to start saying no to? You see, that brings me to point number 2. Most people think that if I make a to-do list, if I just put more on my to-do list, then I can get more done. And that's completely false. What I want you to consider is make a to-be list. You see, for a long time, I thought that I needed to have more in order to be more. If I have more things to do, then I could be more productive. If I have more money, then I could be more successful. If I have a bigger car or a bigger house, then maybe people will look at me differently. And what I found is that it was asked backwards. In order to have the things, the more influence, the impact, and the income, it required me to be something, to become somebody. And the same thing goes for you. And so instead of making a to-do list, make a to-be list. Who do I need to be today? I need to be more productive. I need to be more loving. I need to be more compassionate. I need to be more respectful. I need to be more committed. I need to start saying no more. And what happens is when you get aligned with who you need to be, the things that you do are in alignment with your vision, your mission, and your purpose. And so stop making to-do lists and start making a to-be list. You see, what I found today is that busy is the new broke. If you go around today and or maybe even tomorrow when you go to work, ask somebody, how are you doing today? 95% of people say, oh, I'm just busy. How was your week? Oh, it was so busy. And what I found is that busy is the new broke. And what I mean by this is when you're busy, you become financially broke, you become emotionally broke, mentally broke, and most importantly, relationally broke. You see, most people be so busy chasing after this external validation, this external solution for an internal problem, that they miss the things that are right in front of them. Their kids, their spouse, their household. And you've heard me say this before, that if you can't lead from behind your front door, you have no business leading outside of it. But when we find this work-life balance, what I often see is that if we're struggling in our personal life, our professional life takes a hit. If we're struggling in our professional life, our personal life usually takes a hit. And I found myself in this predicament in 2016 as a brand new nurse working in a critical care unit and working night shift and day shift and 12s and 6 days a week. And what I found was that I was so busy at work that I was struggling at home. And when I struggled at home, it affected my work. And I couldn't find myself getting off of this merry-go-round, this mouse wheel, if you will. And it took for me to sit down and make a priority list, look at my vision and my values and what am I creating here? What kind of life am I creating? Is this the life that I desire? Is this a life by design, or is it a life by default? You see, when you don't know what you want, you're often left with what life gives you. And let me tell you, it don't owe you anything, so it's not going to give you much. And I had to get really clear on what it is that I want. What is going to help me serve those I lead and those I love? Most importantly, help me serve myself, because if I can't lead me, then I can't lead you. I can't lead my kids. I can't lead my wife. And the same thing goes for you. You see, I was really good at leading in my professional life, but I sucked at leading personally. It was easy for me to put the uniform on the military, put my uniform on, go there with my credentials. But my family needed my character. And you probably heard me say this before, the credentials will get you in the door, but character is what keeps you in the room. But most of the time today, we get busy chasing these credentials. We get busy chasing the next degree, the next diploma, the next whatever. And we're growing from the outside in. What I want you to consider is that this work-life balance myth, this time management myth, is really a priorities management. And it's going to require you to look at your character and who am I becoming? Not what am I doing or what more I can do, but what more or who more can I be? You see, what happens is that whenever we often sacrifice our relationships for this busy, we often find ourselves broken in the process. And so how do we prime our day? I want to share with you a couple of things that will help you prime your day to get you on track to prioritizing what matters most. So you see, we have 24 hours in a day. You can't change that, right? What I want you to consider is there's got to be at least 8 hours for sleep. Another myth about this time management is that people say, well, I'll sleep when I die. I just got to grind and, appreciate the hustle or whatever, right? And I'll tell you that if you don't get adequate sleep, your cognition, your cognitive ability to lead, to grow, to build and create will not be able to handle that. You will break emotionally. You will break mentally. And so if we need 8 hours of sleep, that's 8 hours out of that 24. We have 16 left. And if you're like me, you work a 9 to 5. As a full-time career in the military, building a business and having a family, 8 hours of that day is spent in the office. It's spent teaching and speaking and helping other people, leading other people. So that's 16 hours out of the day gone, dedicated to what I need to do. I can't delegate those tasks, right? So that leaves me with 8 hours. Now those 8 hours are divvied up between my health, my wealth creation or my business creation, and my family, quality time. And so I allocate those 8 hours as such. Time for research, time for business, time for family, time for wealth creation, time for connection with the most important people in my life. And so if you look at it and you work a 9 to 5 and you're getting adequate sleep, you have really 8 hours in a day to delegate to those tasks. But what happens when you say yes to everything? you start giving those hours away. If I was to give you $100 in $20 bills or $5 bills, and you were standing on the corner of the street, would you just hand those out to everybody that walks by? Or would you use them sparingly and accordingly based on priority? Paying my bills, getting gas in my car, getting groceries on the table. Or would you just start giving it away to everybody else? The same thing goes with our time. Time is our most valuable asset. Unfortunately, most people don't see the value of time more than they see the value of money. You see, money comes and goes. You can make more money every single day. You can double your income tomorrow, but you can't double your time. So think about this, right? When we change the way we look at things, the things we look at begin to change. I want you to start looking at your time, not as spent, but as invested. What is the return on that invested time that you spend every single day? The time that you invest in your children, the time that you invest with your spouse, the time that you invest in building that business or getting your message to the masses or creating something that's going to impact the world. What is the return on your investment? Because if there is no return, I would have you consider that's probably something you need to say no to. And so here's some things that I've been able to utilize as kind of hacks, if you will. You see, I get up an hour early each day, and that's my gym time. I go to the gym first thing in the morning. It primes my body, which primes my mind. That's 1 hour, right? I got 8 hours. That's it to spend in the day. One of those is at the gym, creating my health, creating my physical body. The next thing is when I'm driving to work, I use my car as a university. I listen to Audible, or if I'm taking a course, I'll play it in the car while I'm driving. And also, too, on the way home, I make phone calls to those that I love. I'll call my wife, I'll call my family members, I'll call one of my friends to connect with them, but that helps me with my meaningful relationships. And what I'll tell you is sometimes the most important drive is when I drive in silence and I just think. I get my mind clear. I connect with my vision, my values. And I ask myself on the way home from work, who do I need to be when I come home? Or on the way to the office, who do I need to be when I step into this office, when I start leading people around me? And the most important conversation we'll ever have is with ourselves. And so number one, you can use your car as a university. Number two is your lunch break. You know, if you get an hour of lunch, you don't need an hour to eat your food. I mean, in the military, they teach us to eat in 5 minutes. What I do is I'll either read a book, study, or listen to a podcast, or create content for my podcast or my YouTube channel or my social media. I'll work during lunch. And not just work on work that's building somebody else's dream. I work on building my dream, my passion, my purpose projects. And you can do the same thing. Eat for 30 minutes and then take 30 minutes to build something that's going to create and leave a lasting legacy. And then the next thing, like I said, is look at your time as investment. What is the return that you're getting on those investments? Does it align with your vision and values? Does it align with what you're creating? A life by design? Or is it by default? Because remember, if you don't know what you want, you're forced to take what life gives you. And two things that I'll share with you, some principles that you can look at. Maybe I'll cover it in another video, but number one is time blocking. Allocating time to those meaningful things. And if you don't know what we should be focused on with these time blocks, I look at 4 areas in the Lead 360 Academy: your mindset, your meaning, your movement, and your mission. So mindset being meditation, prayer, time with yourself, analyzing your thoughts. You know, think about what you think about. It's very powerful. The next one is movement. This is your health, your physical health. Going for a run, getting outside and going for a walk, going to the gym, but getting your body right, getting your body temple, your mindset right, your mind-body connection. The next one is meaningful relationships. Are you investing time with those that matter most? And then the next one, time blocking for your mission. What are you creating that's going to help other people? You see, the life that we live is not ours for ourselves, but it's for those that we lead and those that we love. Everything that happens to you should happen through you, meaning you should take those lessons and give those to people around you who are coming up behind you. And so those are 4 areas that I would consider time blocking for each and every day. The next thing is Parkinson's Law. Parkinson's Law talks about, the time that we spend on things is directly correlated to the time we allocate to them. And what I like to do is finish all my work before noon, because what happens is you get a task, right? And you say, okay, I have all day to do this. Chances are you're going to procrastinate and do it the last minute. But what if you took your to-do list and you knocked everything out before noon, and you spent the rest of the day pouring into those meaningful relationships, pouring into your health, pouring into your mission, pouring into your mindset? How much could you grow in the next year if you were to take your workload and get it done and just hyper-focused on it and get it done in half a day? Most people today can finish their workday by noon. I've done it many of times. And most people ask, "Oh, Anthony, how do you run a business? How do you have a family? How do you do it?" And it's simply that, Parkinson's Law. And so time blocking and Parkinson's Law are two powerful tools that you can use to help you manage your priorities, but also manage yourself.